Certificates of analysis. So we are going to talk about certificates of analysis, also known as COAs or sometimes COQs, certificate of qualities, and their importance in the cannabis and hemp industries. Certificates of analysis, COAs, are so important. One, because they are legally required. Okay, every state that has an industrial hemp program, that has a commission, that has a board, that has any type of licensing or permit regulatory body, they require that business owners who sell industrial hemp products, especially industrial hemp products that are meant to be consumed, must have a certificate of analysis. And this is important because consumers have the right to know what is going inside of their bodies. At this point, they're consuming it. Even if you're in a state where you're able to have the dry flower, the dry bud, and you're actually able to smoke it. Consumers have the right to know what is in the plant that they are smoking. Consumers have the right to know what is in the gummies, what is in these edibles, what is in these drinks. If you're the type of person, you make infused savory food like Thanksgiving dinners and things like that, and you're selling it, which is real. People do buzzed Thanksgiving dinners. Consumers have the right to know. So usually your regulatory body, whichever state you're in, they are actually going to require that you link the COA either on your website or actually on the product packaging. And a lot of times it must go on the product packaging. That way, when consumers, especially if it's an in-store, physical, brick and mortar business, customers have the right to take out their phones, to type in the URL, to scan the QR code, and automatically receive a link to the COAs of their products. So the COAs is going to tell you the level of THC and other cannabinoids, also known as phytocannabinoids, that is in the plant or in the product that they are consuming or ingesting. And it is also going to tell them any type of pollutants, contaminants, microorganisms, anything like that, heavy metals that may or may not be in the product before they consume it. Okay, so consumers have the right to know, and yes, there are unscrupulous companies out there who have COAs, but they're fraudulent or they're old. You know, if you look at the date, it may be a COA. You know, you're buying something in 2022. We even about to go in 2023 right now, but you're buying a product in 2022. You go on the website or you scan the product packaging and you see the COA comes up. And if you start looking at the date, it's saying like 2016, 2017, 2018. That's not okay. Also, consumers have the right to know which lab is testing their product. Is this just a clandestine lab? Is this just a fly-by-night lab that's just going to push out reports for money? Because that's real in the industry. So consumers have the right to know what is in the hemp product that they're consuming, what is in the cannabis product that they're consuming, and they also have the right to know the name of the laboratory. And if they don't want to consume anything that was tested by this particular laboratory, they have that right. So COAs are so important in this industry, especially for consumers, because a lot of newbies do not know that they have the legal right to actually review the contents of the hemp or cannabis product that they're consuming before they purchase it and consume it. So all of the newbies out there, you have a legal right to review the certificate of analysis, also known as COA, to vet the laboratory company and also to see if this product contains something that you want to consume and put in your body or that you don't want to consume and put in your body. So they are, thankfully, with the laws in most states across the board, for the legit companies who are doing it the way that they're supposed to be doing it. If it happens to be a bad batch, if the batch does end up being contaminated, polluted, have heavy metals, microorganisms, fungi, things of that nature in the batch, then that batch gets destroyed or is legally supposed to be destroyed. And a righteous business company, they're not going to even do anything with that batch of that crop. They're going to destroy it and, count their losses. Thankfully, they may have some type of surety bond or crop insurance, and it's taken care of on that end. But for my consumers and the newbies to this industry, definitely always ask for a COA, certificate of analysis, before you purchase any hemp or cannabis product or before you consume it. You have the right to know what you are putting in your body, and you have the right to purchase something for consumption from a lab of your choice. So if you find that this is a lab that you just don't want to have anything to do with, you have that right to put that product back either on the shelf if you're in a physical store, or you have the right to exit out of that website if you're on an online site and just go to a different company. But certificate of analysis are so important in this industry, y'all, especially for the consumers. And for the owners, the retailers, and the wholesalers who are new into this industry, definitely, if you're not growing, if you're not actually processing it yourself, you have the right and you actually have the legal responsibility to request a COA from this wholesaler that you are purchasing from before you offer this to your retail customers. So that is something mandatory that you have to do across the board. And look, y'all, if a COA looks like it's been doctored up, because at this point they're digital, if it looks like it's been doctored up, if it looks like it's been copy and pasted, please go with your gut, because if you feel that this looks like something that's been copied or pasted, this looks something that's old and it doesn't look real, it's not. Okay, it's not. And you have the right to even call the number of the lab or the testing center and verify it and vet the products more thoroughly. So certificates of analysis are so important in this industry, y'all. That is like number one on the top of the list when you are selling hemp and cannabis products, especially for consumption, because I always say this, always, and it's something that I want y'all to take with y'all forever and forever, that your reputation is everything in the cannabis and hemp industry. Once it's out there that you are selling bad weed, and we just got to keep it real, once it's out there that you're selling moldy weed, that you're selling bad weed, or that your THC content is not as potent as what you're claiming it to be, you're going to lose a lot of customers. You're going to lose a lot of customers, and always want to keep your reputation number one in the cannabis and hemp industry, y'all. It is so important. You do not want to be known as the company that sells bad weed, that sells dirt weed, that sells moldy weed. You don't want that. So certificates of analysis are so important, and for the retailers and the wholesalers, it's legally required for you all to provide these to your consumers. So certificate of analysis, make sure you are working with a righteous, solid, legit lab who's going to actually take their time and really test your batches and your product before you're putting it out there to sell to your customers who are consumers. I don't want anybody to get that reputation and to get that branding of selling bad weed, because once you have that, it is a wrap, Or if you're selling consumable hemp products or cannabis products and the THC content isn't as high as you're saying that it is, that is bad. That is bad. That is bad. And that certificate of analysis is what's going to put your customers on notice that what you are saying that you are selling is what they are getting. And then they'll continue coming back to you. Because that's just how it goes in the cannabis, in the hemp industry. If you got that good stuff, they're going to keep coming. Your product is going to speak for itself. So always make sure that your certificate of analysis are 100% in the industry, that they're right, and that you are getting a legit report. It is a legit certificate to provide to your potential customers and your continuing customers. This is Queen, the Veiled Lawyer with Belltail Law Firm. If you have any questions about your hemp and your cannabis business, or just being in the cannabis and hemp industry, comment below. Thank you.